In my experience in life, you pay for what you get. Hi, my name's Rupert Miller, and I'd like to welcome you to my new website, englishman.pl. Today I'm standing in front of your amazing cathedral on this very, very windy day here in Poznan. Now I understand that this part of Poznan is the oldest part of your amazingly beautiful city, a city which I first came to back in 1993, and I used to live in that horrible monstrosity that was known as Hotel Poznan, full of those funny women. Anyway, that's another story altogether, which you can read about in my book, which you'll find on my website. Talking about reading, I used to, every Saturday morning, go down to the hotel foyer and buy a copy of the Sunday Times newspaper, the British English newspaper. This is probably the most famous English newspaper there is, and probably the best. Anyway, I used to go down to the old market square and sit down and read it. Now, this newspaper cost me a fortune. It was really, really expensive. I can't remember how much it was, but it was just ridiculously expensive, and it was always a week old. And so I used to read the news, but in those days there was no mobiles, there was no internet. So the only way I could get any news from the UK was to ring my mum or dad or buy the Sunday Times. So I used to buy the Sunday Times, really expensive. Now, let's talk about expensive. Expensive is normally good, I would say. We have an expression in England which goes like this. Good is rarely cheap, but cheap is rarely good. Now, what I mean by that is that if you buy something that's very, very cheap, invariably it falls apart and you have to go and buy another one. So in fact, it's a false economy. It's a waste of money. So it's much better to spend a little bit more money, yeah, and get a better product that's going to last you much longer. For example, it's worth spending good money on a nice pair of shoes. I remember going to Las Vegas many, many years ago with my wife, Kasia, and we went to the Hotel Caesar's Palace, the ground floor, where there was a huge Gucci store. Now, you've probably all heard of Gucci. Most of you have probably seen the film House of Gucci, but this store was unbelievable because it was just decked out with the most amazing stuff that was just, you know, handbags, belts, shoes, and all the staff in this shop were immaculately dressed. They're all women, they're all very beautiful. And I said to my wife, Kasia, I said, darling, did you notice that actually none of these products have prices on them? So they've got no prices on. So I went up to one of the receptionists in the store, and I said to her, I said, excuse me, but I just noticed that none of your handbags or your shoes or your scarves have any prices on them. And the woman looked at me, didn't smile, and simply said, with all due respect, sir, if sir needs to know the prices of the products in our shop, then sir is in the wrong shop. Expensive is good. Bye for now. Subscribe. Thanks very much. See you later, alligator.